Hello and welcome to the first devlog for my game Brainroll. This is kind of odd because usually you do devlogs at the start of the project so you can follow along, but I haven't done that, so we will start basically in the middle. So this project has been in development for over a year now, and it kind of fits to start doing a devlog now because I'm kind of changing the direction of where the game is heading, so we will get into more of that soon. A short introduction of the game for you who are not familiar with it is that Brainroll is an ice sliding puzzle game. It is kind of a mix between a Sokoban style game and a board game called Ricochet Robots. The whole idea of the game is for you to basically make your way through the level and reach the goal. This has to be done by sliding on ice, and the thing that's stopping you from sliding is a collision with a wall. In the previous version or older versions of the game that has been available now for about a year as early access, we've introduced a set of different mechanics to make these levels more interesting. For example, spikes that will kill you if you collide with them, teleporters that makes you appear at somewhere else. If you enter one portal, you appear at the exit portal. Slimes that kind of work like a wall, but instead of colliding with it and arriving at an adjacent tile, you arrive on the same specific tile. So we've tried a bunch of different mechanics to make this game interesting, but in the end of the day I've realized that it's not really a puzzle, it is more in the style of a maze. And mazes it can be interesting, but most likely you're gonna get bored after a small amount of time. So the direction I've changed to in the last couple of weeks was to move the game from being a maze style game into a more of an actual puzzle game. So just to illustrate a bit more about the maze problem before moving on, I took a screenshot of this is a level that is basically the average level of the old style of the game. So what we have here is most likely what we will see in the entire game, basically. So as we've said, the rules of the game is as simple as when you move, this is the player down here in the corner. The rules is that you can choose in one of four directions where you wanna go, and you will only stop when you collide with something. So here we can only move in one direction. We will go right, and that would take us to collide with this wall over here. I can zoom in to make it more visible. So we would collide with this wall, and we would end up in this tile over here. Oops, changed my color. So we would end up standing in this tile over here. So what this means is that we would always have to basically trace the level. We would have to, for example, when we're standing here, we would have to look, okay, where can I go? Well, I can stand here where the guy is right now, or I could end up in here. And that's basically how you would trace the entire level. You would look at all of these places where you can go, and basically through that you would have to find your way to the goal, which is in the top left corner. But most people don't do that, and it's not really that fun, and this graphics makes it hard for you to see exactly where these tiles are. So what I would see that most people do, and even myself in many occasions, is to look at the goal, and you would trace where you would have to go from the goal. You can see that this is a tile here. This is the most annoying part, that when tracing like this, you would have to just know that the adjacent tiles are the interesting ones, because if we were to trace just on a flat line here, we would arrive all the way over here, which there's no way ever that the player can stand on this tile. So you would always have to trace it and find adjacent tiles that the player can collide with in order to arrive at them. So this is the biggest problem with the game, that you would have this maze mechanic where, or not mechanic, it's just that just like this, the levels end up like a maze. The core mechanic is fine, but without combining it with anything, this is what you get basically. So instead of making the game just be a maze like trace with pen and paper, the idea is to make it more stateful, which means that you as the player can you can have enough freedom to affect the state or the environment around you, like in the level. So for example, we have this sleepy guy where if you collide with him, he is gonna be like a Sokoban box, but a bit different. He's gonna stick to you. So now when we move around, he's gonna stay with you. And interesting is that he's gonna stick to you, but if there's anything that makes him collide, he's gonna stop moving. So if I move down now, you can see that he stopped in that position. And that's a more interesting mechanic now, because now you have to not only think of that the only thing that's stopping you is sliding on ice, but now you also have this kind of a box, let's call it a box, that you can move around, which have the same rules as you do. The only way to complete the level is by organizing him, like putting him where you want him to stay for you to complete the level. So this solution is basically that you get him here and then you can move up. But at the start you couldn't, because if you move up now, you're gonna break. Now you can't even reach him anymore. So this is the direction of the game basically that I want to take it. Sorry if this video has not been going too much into depth of puzzle design or programming or anything. I just wanted this to be a quick update of the direction of the game, and I want to separate videos or posts about actual how I'm thinking when I'm designing puzzles or internals of building the game. So that's why the video is structured as it was. Hopefully you've enjoyed this quick first devlog for Brainroll, and I hope that you will join me for the next one as well. Thanks.